Welcome to For Real, Patriot Loyalist Debate, Day 1. We're going to start our questions off with the neutralists.
Hello, I'm Richard Henderson, and I'm a merchant here in Colonies, and the Loyalist has taxed us with tea, so my question is for the Loyalist. How I'm supposed to make a living, because tea is a lot of money now, and how you expect me to make a living and tea costs a lot of money?
Well, I'm Peter Oliver, and I guess you shouldn't really question us right now because it's not us who made dump tea overboard. It's them who did it, and that's why we have to start taxing heavily, or we're just gonna collapse as a economy.
But my name is Benjamin Franklin. But if the Loyalists wasn't treating the Patriots so unjustly, we wouldn't have to dump tea overboard. So what you just said is kind of invalid.
But hello, I'm King George. You dumped $75,000 worth of tea into the Boston Harbor.
I'm sorry. We're going to direct it back to the neutralists, and maybe you could restate your question. Because what appears to be getting answered is not what you asked. I believe you asked about the tax.
Yeah, I asked about how tea, why has tea taxed a lot of money? Why is it taxed on tea a lot?
My name is Joseph Galloway, and it's taxes on tea a lot because we need money to pay for soldiers that protect the colony.
Okay, my name is Benjamin Franklin. You said you need money for soldiers, but over here in the colonies, as you can see from the French and Indian War, we really never needed help with that. So y'all don't need to pay for soldiers because we got taken care of this over here.
Soldiers are to protect people, and you had no trained soldiers.
Yeah, as I can clearly remember, you guys never had a trained army. When it came down to the war, we had to send out thousands of our own soldiers to help you out because you were going to. Oh, I'm King George, and I had to send down thousands of my soldiers to come help you out because you guys didn't have a trained army. If it wasn't for us, you guys will probably just be rubbing down trying to pick up from the ashes that were left from the Indians and the other Europeans.
But King George, hi, I'm Thomas Paine. Didn't 2/3 of your soldiers, your trained soldiers, you said, get killed in the war?
Yeah, actually, yeah. We did. 2/3 of my soldiers, they get killed trying to save your behind because you got started the war in the first place.
But that's still not the point, King George. Who led out of the French and Indian War? I do believe that was George Washington, a patriot. So, them soldiers not really doing much.
Right, two-thirds of our soldiers died, but we were trained. You weren't trained. Imagine how many of your men would have died untrained.
So if y'all trained, why so many of y'all died? Y'all should still be living right now.
That's not the point, though. We saved y'all. Whether everybody died, we saved y'all. We were trained. You weren't.
But how did y'all save us?
Who is y'all?
How did the Loyalists save us?
How did we save you guys? Okay. Yes. Let's go back to how this started over. You and your Patriot Commander George Washington shot the first bullets, right? Am I right?
You're right.
All right. Which if you have never started shooting in the first place, this whole mess would have never happened. And just saying, you could have just took this down peacefully without you having to shoot bullets. I mean, come on. I'm a nice person. I'm here for you. We made the colony for you.
Excuse me, King George, but I do believe the colonies, they don't want nobody governing them. Like, why do we want somebody all the way in Britain controlling us?
Well,
Like,
you
we want to
can't
be
control
free.
yourself in the first place, because if you're able to control yourself in the first place, you wouldn't have to have started the war, costing me so much money and so much of my soldiers that I needed for other wars that I had. I cared about you that much to save these 13 colonies. So I know what you're talking about.
Also, when we left you to govern yourself, and your colony, I guess, needed money, you spent that on a prostitute, which was your maid, right? And then you paid her.
I have some needs that I need to get right. Don't be mad at me because my maid is fine. Don't be mad at me.
Your maid, you're paying her to keep quiet. Like, and then you're coming for us, telling us that we're, like, wasting money on soldiers when you're wasting money on a prostitute. Don't you have a wife?
Hold up, King George.
Don't forget 17 kids too.
17 kids.
Hold up, King George. King George. Let me get back to the economics. Hold up, King George.
Isn't it correct that some of your family actually had affairs too? Your brother was put out on the spot that he had an affair when he is married too?
Then again,
And
I understand
and
that.
his sons and brothers. So please tell me. Can you?
Hi, I'm Margaret Arnold, but King George's brothers doesn't have anything to do with how he's running his kingdom. So it's not him who's doing or having the affairs, it's his family.
But still, you can't talk about somebody else's affair when your family does it too.
But he did not, it's not his family that's doing it. Benjamin Franklin is doing it himself.
But that's Benjamin Franklin. Leave Benjamin Franklin alone. That's
Well,
his-
leave
that's
George
his wife.
King's family alone because it doesn't have nothing to do with
Then you
me.
should talk.
So maybe we should get back to the actual issues with the colonies.
Well, can I ask you a question, Benjamin Franklin?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can.
So let's talk about the Boston Tea Party.
Okay.
Was it not you dressed as Indian, so you can't even take control, like take responsibility for what you did for yourself and for your political affiliation. You can't take responsibility for what you did. Dressing up as Native Americans and dumping thousands of dollars worth of tea in the Boston Harbor. I mean, it was never okay for you to do that in the first place. You caused the tax on yourself.
Benjamin Franklin, you and Samuel Adams are cowards. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay?
Cowards.
You dress up as Indians because, like, you're saying you're trying to run a colony or something by yourself. You cannot take responsibility for something. If Loyalists were to go, when Loyalists go to fight, or British, we dress up as British. We don't dress up as anybody else. When you guys went to go commit your crime, you dress up as Indians because you can't take the blame for it. I'm right.
You are right.
Yes, I am.
But doesn't it make sense that we don't want to let y'all come shoot at us? So that makes sense. Dress up as Indians, dump y'all tea, and then y'all blame it on the Indians. Because y'all not thinking that the Patriots did that. Because y'all trying to say, oh, we're one. We love the Patriots, all this other stuff. The Loyalists don't love us. Y'all staying in Britain doing y'all, and we going to do us over here in the colonies.
Sir, who is this mythical y'all?
The Loyalists and the Patriots.
All right, but then again, you're saying that we don't care about you, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I am.
If we didn't care about you, why would we send people all the way from Britain, taking the long voyage to the New World to take control of you, because we don't want you to get killed by other people.
Why do you want to control us anyway, King George?
Because you're part of us in the first place.
But you wasn't thinking about us before 1763.
But actually, I kind of was, because in a way, we kept the taxes down because we know you're trying to get adjusted to life in the colonies. We just can't put all the stuff down here in the first place. You have to get used to it. If you want to go out the line, that's cool. You're just gonna know that you're gonna get taxed because you did wrong. All right?
Excuse me. You said that you cut the taxes. The taxes lower because of what?
No, the taxes are already low in the first place. They were already low. There wasn't really that there
I
wasn't
think
like
you lowered it because you weren't getting enough money from the colonies, which is Patriot.
So it can be that.
I thought you weren't getting enough money from the tea in Britain because of the boycott
Well,
that we have started because you have taxed us a lot of money for tea.
Alright, I think what King George trying to say is that it started out with no taxes or low taxes because the Americans who came to the colonies from Britain, they were just getting like used to the new land. So they started off with like no taxes or low taxes, and then after the French and Indian War, like a lot of people got killed, and so tax started to raise because since people got killed, that means like less money because more people aren't working. So then we had to raise taxes, and then Patriots went and they done tea, so then we had to raise taxes even higher.
Excuse me. No, my name is Lord Frederick North. The only reason we actually raised tax is because we had to pay off our debt from the East Indian Company, which bring in thousands of soldiers over to help you out in the colonies and fight against the French and Indian War.
My name is Jonathan Shipbeard. Can you repeat your point?
Our point is, it's the colonists' reason why we paying taxes, why they are paying taxes. Yes.
And the silence is pretty telling, I guess. Okay, so over on the neutralist end, pose another question.
Okay, I'm Ann Lee, and since y'all can't do that, I'm gonna answer another question. Okay. So, I was locked up in Britain for my religious beliefs. So I wanted to ask King George, why do you believe it's right to lock up people?
Well,
In what way? For what purpose?
For their religious beliefs.
you originally, the colony was a part of Britain, right? So basically, I'm the king. We had the Anglican Church, so if you want to okay with how we worship our God and stuff, well, how we worship God, then that means if you want to go, you can go. I'm just saying, you were all part of like the Anglican Church, and because you weren't okay with that, then you probably would have to get punished. You would have to get punished for that. So.
Excuse me, Miss. Go ahead.
I'm John Adams, and in the Divine Right of Kings, it states that you actually derive the rule directly to the will of God. So you're supposed to have this religious belief, and it's like you're not supposed to obey, like in the Divine Right of Kings, you are supposed to.
I'm supposed to do what?
Someone help me out, please.
Alright, I'll help you out. What King George is trying to say is, when you come from a place and there's one God, because that's what people from Britain believe, or King George believes, like, if you go against God, or you say, like, if somebody was maybe Christian, and I would say, oh, well, Jesus isn't real, you would get mad. You wouldn't be okay with that. So I guess by you choosing a different religion, that's disrespectful towards King George. So he thought that's disrespect, I guess.
Wait. You said I choose a different religion, but I still believe in the same God as him, so how does that relevant?
Also, it asserts that a monarch is subject to no earthly authority, deriving the right to rule directly for the will of God. So basically, you're going against the Divine Right of Kings. Religion is God. Religion has to do with God, and you're basically like not doing your duty.
But in the way of you trying to come to me about how I treat you towards you about like religion and stuff, I mean, it was your fault for you trying to break off in the first place. Like, Anlie, you think I'm persecuting you religiously. Like, you originally were from Britain. You broke off from Britain, and basically, in a way, you were all Anglican. You trying to say that I'm persecuting you religiously wasn't okay, because I'll let you. Just go ahead.
Alright, we all know King George. There have some times in his life. I don't know why he did it. Okay? He knows in his heart why he did it. So can we just move on to the next question?
I don't believe so, Peter Oliver. And Lee, if you come to the colonies, you could practice your religion freely, and you could be one with us, because we're trying to get away from the Loyalists and King George. So if you come to the colonies, by the time we escape from Britain, you'll be able to practice your religion freely.
Okay.
But then again, if you go to the colonies,
Aren't we all in the colonies?
I'm sorry. If you want to join the Patriots, I mean, in a way, they're just a bunch of brutes. They're just a bunch of brutes.
And what are you, King George?
I'm a monarch. I'm your king.
Not a fair monarch. You're not my king.
Okay, but in a way,
Because you live in Britain.
I kind of am though, because in a way.
Well, listen to what you said. Keywords, kind of.
Okay.
You're not my monarch.
Okay.
I'm a patriot. You're a loyalist.
King. Because in the way of me making this voyage straight to this area of land, it was because of me. If I didn't care about you, I would have just left you alone. But you were over there. Right?
Next question.
Okay, so I am the Earl of Effingham. I just wanted to ask the Patriots, why, like specifically, why do you deserve freedom? Why do we deserve to be taxed?
Okay. Hello again. My name is Benjamin Franklin. It seems like I'm talking a lot, but I mean it's what it is. We all deserve to be free, and I know y'all gonna hit me with we have slaves. Yes, because that's what we own. So I don't want to hear that coming from the Loyalist side. Anyway, Patriots deserve to be free because King George is making all these wrongful taxes. He's taxing us without consent. Like, there's no laws that you can tax us just because you want to. So, like, I believe, like, we should be free from Britain, not controlled by King George.
Okay. Benjamin Franklin, Roger Arnold. I agree. I understand what you're saying, but it's with us taxing you and what you're getting the taxes is not as bad as what you do with your slaves. They don't have no type of rights at all. Nothing. And us taxing you isn't as bad as what you're doing to them. So, like, how do you deserve freedom if they don't?
Also, we don't own you like you're a slave, but you kind of are on our land. So technically, we kind of do own you, just like you own your slaves. And like it's like, yes, I do live in the colonies. Thomas Jefferson. Anyway, Britain owns us because we're under Britain. Colonists own slaves, so it's just like own on top of own on top of own.
But Mr. Oliver, I have a question for you. If we're in America now, how are we still a part of Britain? We're across the Atlantic Sea. And also, King George, you said that we tried to run. You said that you let us go from Britain. You weren't letting us go from Britain, King George. Thousands of people left Britain because they were in debt from you. Because of all the taxes you were trying to drop. Please let me finish. Please. And also, King George, I have a question. How are you doing?
Okay, how are you?
You all right? No, I don't know, sudden headaches or anything? Please, ma'am. Let him answer my question. Please.
He has a sickness.
Let me come with my brother.
He was diagnosed with probaria, which was triggered by a blood disorder, okay? And his toxic level was over 300.
So, madam, how will be misdiagnosed if...
Can I finish? His urine was dark red, so obviously something was wrong with him.
Then how will he be
Abdominal
misdiagnosed?
pain, cramps, and seizures.
Again, how will
Some
he be
people who suffer from
misdiagnosed?
this become mentally ill. Okay, it's not his fault. It's really not. He
Okay.
took medicine for this because somebody prescribed it for him.
Okay, but I'll also like to pose the fact that King George is not a strong enough leader.
Wait.
Why? Because King George would follow trends that other people would set. For example, rubbing the poison arsenic in his hair.
Excuse me, my name is John Connolly.
Yeah.
Can we get back to freedom, please?
Of course.
Okay. No. Benjamin Franklin. We're talking about freedom, right?
Yes, we are.
You want freedom?
Yes, I do.
How do you want freedom? Let me finish now. How do you want freedom? You own slaves, though, right?
Yes.
That's correct. Was your wife? Is your wife's name Deborah Reed? That's your wife's name, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
So how do you want freedom, but want to keep your slaves, but lives with a wife who does not accept slaves? Because in 1728, her and John, her last husband before you, because he died, her and John took a slave. They kidnapped a slave and took him to Philadelphia to be free. How do you accept slaves when your wife died at 66 of a stroke and you live with, no, before your wife died, how do you accept slaves and want freedom? Tell me.
Mr. Conley and King George.
No. I would like Benjamin to answer my question. How does he accept slaves?
Excuse me, sir. I know
John is my name.
John. I know from all that to be true or untrue, but I want freedom from Britain because you doing me wrong, and if I'm doing my slaves wrong, then you could tell me that. But the slaves are my property. So if like I have a house and you try to take it from me, no, that's my property. You can't take my slaves from me. And just because my wife died, ooh, if she was still living, she would get it. I ain't even gonna lie.
What is your wife?
Hi. Mr. Franklin's late wife has nothing to do with the issue of freedom on the table.
Benjamin Franklin. I'm a slave. My name is Chester Joey. Okay. Do you think it's right to take me from my homeland in Africa for my family and my brothers and sisters? But you want freedom and you taking me? No. If it was up to me, you wouldn't be here right now. But be quiet. Someone else freedom away from them? Are you mad?
Hello. We need to work out some order. Can you restate your question?
Okay.
Calmly, please.
You think it's right?
It's okay, mister.
You think it's right to take somebody out from their family in Africa and bring them here to America to be a slave and do all your dirty work or do all your work you want me to do? Do you think it's really right?
Let me ask you
Take
something.
someone's freedom away from them?
Did I bring you here, Benjamin Franklin? Did I bring you here?
The Patriots did.
But did I bring you here, Benjamin Franklin? So why is you posing that question to me, miss?
Pause. Wait. Pause. I'm Thomas Jefferson. We, not just us, the Patriots, did not bring you from Africa to the colonies. It was all of us, Patriots and Loyalists, so don't just come at us. Alright, Thomas Jefferson, do not talk. Because just like we are unfair, because I heard Benjamin Franklin say this earlier, you are unfair. Now, you have something against Aaron Burr, right? You were there when his treason trial was, and you said he was guilty before the jury can even say anything. You also paid the jury and the witnesses just to say he was guilty, and you also promised them a spy and I guess politicians or something.
Excuse me, miss, what does that have to do about freedom?
No, you said that somebody wasn't fair. You're not fair, okay? That's what you said. You said that. That came out of your mouth. I heard it.
Whose mouth?
That seems a little hypocritical to me.
Yes.
But what else seems hypocritical, I might add, that's how King George gets the right to say that he owns us.
The same
Please,
way you get the
Magna
right-
Carta. Let me come to that. It limits the king's power.
Okay.
So, how does he have the right to say we own us when we're on a different continent? And also, I understand you, Mr. What's your name again? Chester. Mr. Chester.
Yeah.
The situation that you're in is not very different from the situation we're in right now. But the only difference is we're not taxing you unfairly.
Do not listen to him. He will dress up as you and do crimes, okay?
Wait! I would like to also come on that topic that you threw out. I, Samuel Adams, was not actually at the Boston Tea.
But you are.
But
you
taking-
started Sons of Liberty.
Yes, I
You
did,
started
because
you
you
took them.
unfairly taxed us.
I unfairly taxed.
I was trying to fight for my people and protect the people that I love.
It was fair.
Well, excuse me, Samuel Adams.
Yes.
It wasn't unfair because remember, as I remember, we gave you a stamp act. Well, we taxed we made you pay extra for the stamps that you had to put on your letters, your wills.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Then you guys went on and boycotted that, correct?
Correct.
So it was no longer a stamp act. Then after that, it was the Tea Act where we taxed you for glasses, paper, and taxed you more for glasses, paper, and tea. And you went on boycott for that, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Correct.
So that got taken away. But then we left the Tea Act and we sold you tea for less than what you were smuggling in from the Dutch. And you went and dumped our tea over into the shore. Can you explain that, please? Please.
I'm Patrick Henry, and the only reason why we dumped your tea was because it was cheap, and we don't like cheap things, and it was disgusting.
All right, look.
So we threw it away. We don't.
You're
do that.
dumping tea and you're saying it's disgusting. But do you know what you did to me? You poured hot tea down my throat. Don't you think that was really mean?
So why are you talking if hot tea was down your throat? You said your.
Hot tea was poured down my throat and many more loyalists because you're savage little patriots want to play games. And after y'all throw tea overboard, you think you can go around town doing stuff like this. It's not nice. Like, we're trying to be good to you guys by bringing over soldiers, trying to help y'all out sometimes. I'm going to admit sometimes we do help you guys out. But then you guys have to return the favor. You have a problem with, sheltering soldiers.
Yes,
They
we
protect, no, don't cut me off.
Okay, but
They
you
protect,
saying
don't
that
cut me off.
you're trying to help us, but we paying, like, we doing everything for your soldiers. We giving them candles, firing, bedding, cook,
but
like all of that.
you put yourself in a dumb situation, and you settled next to Indians and Spaniards. We came over to protect you guys because you're family to us, whether you guys like it or not, because we all came from Britain, okay?
Actually,
wait.
None of-
I have a point to make because how y'all loyalists, and if I'm correct, y'all do live in the colonies too. So all the things that King George is putting on us is also happening to y'all.
Yes, and
So do y'all really agree with being taxed? Why are you gonna pay more for something when it's already here? You have it, and we can make it if it's not.
okay, we're being taxed because, like I said, you guys are family. You guys are the one who threw the tea overboard. We have no problem with paying the taxes. It's you guys who have problems with paying the taxes. It's all helping in a way. You're paying for your protection by giving taxes. If we were to have an attack, not like right now, but right now, okay, and they were to all come over, like French, the Indians, and the Spaniards, and they were to try to attack you guys wouldn't be able to do anything because you guys are untrained. We have trained soldiers. That's what you're paying for in the end. And you're paying for the debt when you guys threw over all that tea.
Keep talking
Pause.
Because I can't.
Our debate time is actually up. Out of fairness, this isn't the end of the debate, but if the debate were to end today, can you hold up the signs for where you would likely go based on today's arguments? So let the record state 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Patriots, 1 Loyalist voter at the end of this.
I love you, Loyalist.